Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. The Israel Brief is very proud to bring you news directly from Israel. And I know that many of you are concerned that it doesn't seem to make headlines in the mainstream media, but no worries, you can get it right here. I'm Rolene Marks, and it's still Purim, so I'm still wearing a mask. It's not going to be a regular thing because Jack the cat is not too mad about it. In fact, he's skulking in a corner. He doesn't like this new look human. But it's all in the spirit of Purim. So Chag Purim Sameach to all of you out there who are celebrating. But without further ado, let's take a look at today's top stories. And news just in Israel's cases of corona have escalated to 58 known cases of COVID-19. Now, yesterday, the Israeli Health Ministry made a very, very shocking announcement with regards to entrance into the state of Israel. So where we currently stand is that the Health Ministry, in conjunction with the government, and it's not an easy decision to make, have declared that all people coming into Israel will be expected to engage in mandatory 14-day quarantine. This is anybody who's coming in, Israeli citizens, foreign nationals, everybody who is entering the state of Israel is expected to undergo this mandatory quarantine. Now, Israelis coming back from travels abroad will be expected to enter this quarantine immediately, but foreigners will have about 72 hours from the time of announcement to kind of get themselves organized. Anybody who's still coming or has booked trips will still be allowed to enter, providing they can provide proof of a place of quarantine. The quarantine is mandatory. And the health ministry said that they will give people a couple of days just to get their travel arrangements in order should they decide to leave, but we don't know how many days that will be. So it has created, a lot of controversy around the world, a lot of concern around the world. Many people have trips booked for Pesach. Many people have trips booked here who were supposed to run the Jerusalem Marathon. That's been postponed to October. But for the moment, this mandatory 14-day quarantine is going to be in place for 2 weeks, and the situation will be assessed after that. It has also been announced earlier today that two airline carriers, Arkia and Israel, have suspended flying abroad. Now, this does not include El Al. In fact, we heard from El Al's CEO, who said that as many flights that can continue as normal will continue until further notice. And here on the Israel Brief, we will continue to keep you updated with developments with regards to COVID-19 and Israel. In other news, and this is positive news, the warming of ties between Israel and African states seems to be growing, and this past week Israel participated in an anti-terror summit, this time in Morocco, and they discussed how to deal with groups like Al-Qaeda and other terror organizations that pose a major threat. So yet again, this is significant of the warming of ties between Israel and the Arab world, and also very significant that as we battle the threat posed by COVID-19, Israel is working very closely with the Palestinian Authority to look at ways that we can keep all our citizens safe and healthy. And our final news story for the day, it's fast approaching Israel Apartheid Week on campuses around the world. That will go into effect on March the 16th until the 21st. It's very, very symbolic because BDS and their supporters want that date of the 21st of March because it coincides with Human Rights Day in South Africa. And because the central accusation of BDS is Israel is an apartheid state, and there's this whole week of Israel bashing dedicated to it, they've chosen something very, very symbolic, which also shows the importance of South Africa in the whole fight against BDS. But it seems to be a problem on campuses around the world, including the Ivy League School of Columbia University in the United States. Now, yesterday, Columbia University's president condemned all forms of anti-Semitism, and while this has been lauded and appreciated by Jewish groups on campus, many are concerned that there is still a lot of work to be done. Columbia University has not enjoyed a reputation of late of being tolerant towards Jews, and a lot of students have come out expressing their concerns at growing anti-Semitism amongst students and faculty at the university. So we will watch this to see if there's any progression made on fighting anti-Semitism on Columbia University's campus. So those are the top stories making headlines in Israel. Don't forget, if you're self-isolating, we've got lots of content for you to read, or if you just want to read some of our content, we say go for it with pleasure. Check us out at www.layoftheland.online. Layoftheland.online. You can read my article, which is all about the carnivals that have taken place recently in Europe. Very, very concerning, the imagery that has been exhibited there. You can also check us out on Facebook. In fact, we've got some articles from the Arab world that you might not see in mainstream media, but you can see it on our Facebook page, and that's at Lottel's site. While you're there, please give us a like, a follow, and share the content. And remember that you play a role in making sure that Israel stories get out to the mainstream, and you can do this by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Simply look for us on YouTube at The Israel Brief and click on the subscribe button. So with me wishing you a Freiliche Purim, or Chag Purim Sameach, and tomorrow I promise you no masks. I know Jack will be relieved. I'm Raylene Marks with The Israel Brief.